So here is my 2017 Mountain Laurel Designs Burn backpack. I'm going to give an initial review. I just got back from a 5-day trip. You can see for comparison, here is my previous go-to frameless pack. That is the Z-Packs Zero, which they no longer do. And here is the Mountain Laurel Designs Burn all packed up. Now I'm going to do two videos at once. The first one is going to be me going over the pack, and then the second will be me going through the contents of my pack for the trip that I was just on. So if you'd like to check that out, go ahead and I'll put a link to that in the description below. And in the future, I'm not finished with this just yet, but if you're interested in the trip report and trail guide of the trip that I went on, I'll go ahead and throw a link to that below later on. So what I'll do first is I'll kind of go through some of the pack, and then I will put the camera down and kind of show you how it fits and like tinker around with it. Yeah, alright, so here we go. Before I start pointing out details, I should note first the weight and accessories that I have on it. It's not really that many accessories. It's a older version of the I don't think they've changed all that much, but the older version of a shoulder pocket, which I have my Sawyer filter in there. More on that later. And then on the sides, it comes with some elastic and some cord locks and a few other little things to put on the pack if you so desire. I decided to go with a couple of side straps on the side there, so you see the elastic there and the cord locks there. Yeah, and that's about it. And all told, then it's completely empty. It's 420 grams. Those of you living in Colorado and Oregon and elsewhere will find that number amusing, but yeah, 424 grams for the whole thing with the little accessories. I'm guessing if you stripped away the two side straps and then the shoulder pocket, you would probably be down maybe 30 grams or so, or an ounce or so, to get you maybe slightly under that 400 gram mark. Okay, so as you can see, it is in the Dyneema and is in the stealth gray. I have it without any food at the moment. It's just my base pack weight, so no food, no water. So the previous video will be easier to film, but yeah. Here is, you'll get to take a look at this with me wearing it in a minute, but here is the front pocket. And this is a very important detail that I noticed because I've actually been looking at this pack for quite some time and considered getting it over the years, and then I noticed it kind of got more and more refined. And one of the refinements that I really liked was the bottom of the front pocket and the back of the side pockets are in Dyneema, as you can see there. So if you're walking into some brush or whatever, you have some protection here rather than the full mesh as they used to have for the side pockets. They were just full mesh. And also for the front pocket, it was entirely mesh. That was a new, I think it was just this year, if not this year, then just last year that they added that. And also the roll top. It used to be that the first versions of the pack had just a drawstring, kind of like a tube, and you just draw it down and that's it. And now it's got this really nice system that I really like. It's got 3 straps. It's got 2 on the sides that compress the pack down after you roll it up. It's got a huge amount of extra space with the extended collar, which you'll see again in the other video when I open it up and play around with it. And then this top strap here, which is nice because this double kind of strap here on top allows you to really secure things better than, say, just one strap. So yeah, you can tell that a lot of thought has been put into this pack to refine it, make it slightly better. And yes, in that regard, I really like it. It's a very functional, though it's very basic pack. It's like a frameless pack with just a few bells and whistles. The bells and whistles that are on it I really do appreciate. All right. The shoulder straps, very comfortable. They are like thick and padded. On the back you have some grippy mesh, which I like. And then I will say one thing that actually, to give some constructive criticism to, is I would have had the daisy chain go up a little bit more. The, you know, the points of connection here on the shoulder strap, while it's, you know, sufficient, right, I decided to put the sternum strap on top here. Right, oh yeah, that's something else I missed when talking about accessories. You could choose to have, you know, take this, sternum strap comes with the pack. You could choose to, you know, take that off. I happen to like it, and it's got a little whistle here. Yeah, so that would further reduce the weight if you're really hardcore about getting those grams down. But yeah, I would have preferred to have a little bit more, a few more here to put a few things, you know, but it's not that big a deal. Like maybe, you know, have a, you know, a bandana, or what I like to do is I like to put my small knife on this side to balance out too. I have my, you know, shoulder strap here, and then my, you know, little knife on this side, and yeah, I quite like that configuration. But okay, I'm going to put down the camera and put this thing on and continue to talk about it. So here we go. Hopefully I will fit everything in the frame here. There we are. So I will give you kind of like overview, or you can see it. I'll turn it around, right? And here it is, all packed up. It's got a big patch on that. Not much to say about that really. You can see on the sides, the side straps, right? If you give it a tug, they're very elastic. They're also quite tough. I'm not sure if that's an improvement from the past packs before. I have an Exodus pack, which I bought years ago, like I think 5 or 6 years ago, and it did not, because I bought it used, it didn't come with the elastic, so could be the same, not sure. Yes, many different thru hikers really love this pack. I'm a section hiker, but I like to have 2 go-to packs for the year. I like to have one frameless for when my pack is lighter, to use in the warmer months, so summertime or late spring, early autumn type seasons. And then for the rest of the year I have a frame pack. I have my Z-Packs Arc Haul, which if you haven't seen it, you know, check out my videos, and you'll find it in there. I have a review of that as well. That's continues to be my go-to frame pack for the other. I would say I get more use out of that. When my base weights go quite low, then I go for a frameless pack. For the back, you know, I have, as most of you that know about frameless packs know, I have my sleeping pad folded up inside here to act as like a support here. And I will say this too, that this 5-day trip that I took, this section hike that I went on, my base pack weight was a little bit heavier than normal because I was going with my wife, so we were doing couples backpacking, and we could split weight with certain things, and we also had a few extra luxuries that I normally wouldn't take if I was going on my own. So the base weight is around 9.5 pounds, or 4,300 something grams. I'll make sure to put that in, yeah, the next video. But yeah, let me try it on now for you. It's got also something I neglected to say, is that it has, and this is how I normally do, I usually just do the shoulder straps first, and then the hip pad, which like I said, I didn't mention. I don't know if you can see the hip pad in here, but I'll kind of get on my tippy toes. But yeah, here it is. This for me is pretty much just to keep the pack from flopping around. It's not so much for weight distribution. It has a bit, it's unpadded, the hip belt. Again, I don't know how much you can see that, but it's unpadded, but it's alright. It's nice. Yeah, if you're getting a frameless pack, you're not really going to be depending on the hips for weight distribution. But even still, speaking of weight, as I continue to, there we go, configure this. There we go. Talking about like weight with this pack, I said it was a bit heavier as far as base weight is concerned. I also took some heavier luxury food, so the total weight was also heavier, pushing the limit of the pack. On the website, on Mountain Laurel Design's website, it says that the maximum weight should be no more than like 25 pounds, and I was right around there. I was at, I think, 10.5 kilos or something like that, which works out to be, I forget, like around 22 pounds or something like that. So I was right below the maximum, and the pack felt great. The shoulder pads are great. It rides great, and like I said, because it can get quite big and like it's a narrower pack. So but to reduce any kind of floppiness or awkwardness, that's when, you know, this minimal hip belt is nice, because then if it's kind of a little top heavy with the heavy food, then this, you know, will secure it to your body more. But yes, speaking of how it is, as far as kind of the shape of the pack, that is one minor, I guess, piece of feedback I would give that's a bit negative, is that it's tapered at the bottom. But this is meant for people that are, you know, hardcore ultralight backpackers, so it's, I guess, pretty much assumed that you're going to be stuffing everything in there without stuff sacks, or maybe one big pack liner and you're stuffing everything in there, or if you have a stuff sack, you have a very minimal sleeping bag, you know, that you are going to really jam down there. I happen to be one of those rare ultralight backpackers that likes to do a few stuff sacks, because I like order. I really like to have my pack very orderly, and I'm happy to pay, you know, a few ounces or, you know, a few dozen grams for that. So what I did to kind of, let me take this pack off to show you what I mean. It's kind of hard to describe, but like, it tapers just a bit at the end. At least it feels like it tapers, maybe because my Zero and my other frameless packs that I've had, the bottom there's maybe a little more space. Yeah, so what I did to make it easier to pack is I normally would put my sleeping bag at the bottom in its stuff sack, and then, you know, the rest of it, when you play pack Tetris, you know, it would be sleeping bag, clothing, you know, shelter, you know, food, rain gear, etc., a few other odds and ends. But what I did, because like I said, it gets kind of, it's pretty narrow down there at the bottom, is that I put my sleeping clothing, or like, you know, extra clothing in there first, in like it's a smaller stuff sack to take up the bottom. Then I put my sleeping bag. So that's the first time I've configured my pack like that. But it's not really a big deal. Honestly, when I talk about the constructive criticism, when I talk about kind of the things, you know, the minor things that could be improved, it's like, you know, a few more daisy chain loops, and, you know, maybe make the bottom a bit, you know, like not as tapered or narrow. These are very minor complaints. This is the nicest frameless backpack I have ever used. And I'm really glad that I've been keeping my eye on this pack for years now, because I wanted to get a little more volume for couples backpacking. My wife has now kind of thoroughly been converted to an ultralight backpacker as well. Her go-to pack now for summer use is the Zero, which is my, you know, previous go-to pack. I still love this pack. The Z-Pack Zero really is, this is a great pack. This was my previous kind of benchmark for like what I think a 9 out of 10 would be. I now have to reconsider that. I think maybe this is more like 8.5, and this here, the Mountain Laurel Designs Burn, is like a solid 9, maybe even 9.2 or 3. It is a fantastic pack for what it's designed to do, which is for your lower end ultralight backpacking base weights. But even still, you could put, you know, plenty of luxuries, as you'll see in the next video when I open it up. The collar comes up huge. When I had this pack all stuffed with like bags of chips and luxury food, you know, it looks kind of funny because it comes up much more than it is now. As you can see with the compression straps here on the side, right? You've got a lot of different, like, you know, of cordage here on this strap. You know, it goes all the way, you know, the length of this cordage almost. But okay, I've been rambling on about this pack. I've tried it on. I've given you my first impressions. I hope this has been helpful, enjoyable to watch. If you're interested in ultralight backpacking, right? Check out the next video, as I said before, to see the contents And please be aware that this is a very kind of specific arrow in the quiver of your ultralight game. It's not for everybody. I pushed it a little higher on the base weight because I wanted to really test it on its first run on this section hike. In the future, you know, I would probably do a base weight of probably around 6 to 8 pounds rather than, you know, 9 to 10 pounds, right? But yeah, fantastic pack. I'm very, very happy. So it's a glowing review. I will do maybe in the future. If I have time, then I will do kind of a follow-up on that, on this pack, right? Okay. All right. Happy trails to you. Take care.